Yo, all right. Boys, there's a crazy ass theory that's going on right now about Stranger Things. I watched a video earlier about it, and this video fucking explains it perfectly. We're not gonna watch the whole thing,
Atlas AI voiceover
but I want
feature
to show
allows you
you
to turn
guys,
your
give you
words
an idea
into
of what
voices you
is
never
being
thought
said
you
and
had.
stuff.
Welcome
Fucking
back, everyone.
nuts.
It's Charlie. Netflix
Oh,
released.
not this, not that. Oops, not that. Hold on. Right here. Here we go.
1, 2,
All right, boys,
3,
watch this.
4, 5, 6, 7.
The Conformity Gate theory is one of the biggest, craziest theories for TV I've seen, but it's not baseless, and believe it or not, it's still valid. Today,
This is something I wanted to talk about. So when I was watching the finale of Stranger Things, I go, dude, why are they wearing orange robes and gowns? You know? Because if you do this, what um are the colors for Hawkins High in Stranger Things? It's green and yellow and white. Or green and white. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So, okay, Hawkins High School, primary green and orange yellow. Okay, that's what I said. This right there. And it's kind of funny because that was my middle school colors, and we were the Tigers. We were Union Tigers. Um, but yeah, so I go, why would they be wearing just orange like that? I mean, it's obviously primarily green, right? And like when they're playing basketball and stuff, their jerseys are all green. So I just thought it was weird. But this video is gonna go into some crazy ass details about what's going on. But just watch.
baseless, and believe it or not, it's still valid. Today, we're going to go through each and every bit of evidence for the Conformity Gate theory, and identify what was teasing stuff that can happen in other shows or another episode, and what was likely just mistakes. And if you don't know already, the Conformity Gate theory basically suggests that Mike, and or the whole main group that attacked Vecna, are in Vecna's trance. They are asleep, and just like we saw the kids were, are trapped in this fake reality of recycled memories. Regardless of if we get some secret episode, this will change how you see episode 8 and the whole of season 5 completely. 7 has so much more meaning in Stranger Things, and out of all the stuff it means, people thought it meant it was referencing a real-time date. As soon as they announced the making of documentary on the 5th, they were never going to announce anything else before that. However, the WSQK broadcasts come back late on the 11th, before the documentary, and after it releases on the 12th. The same broadcast that says to crank it up all the way to 11, that had those secret hidden messages saying the town's been taken over, and to wake up.
You, just you, building your app on base 44. Describe it.
The hosts of WSQK are called Mindy, Flair and Vance, anagrams of Mind Flayer and Vecna. The newly released Stranger Things WSQK torches, when you turn on the black light function and shine it inside the box, it says Vecna lives. But even then, if it was teasing a date, on the 7th of January, what did come out was a Netflix promo for stuff on Netflix in 2026, and the tarot card reader narrator says, "This year you will question everything," as the Justice card is revealed, with an illustration of Millie Bobby Brown, who plays 11, with the Roman numeral version of 11 appearing on the card. It then shows her, and she asks back.
Everything.
Her voice rings out as we see each of the cards they've shown in the trailer. It features an actress who looks like a young Joyce, and in the teaser for the promo that came out before, you can see a Stranger Things poster behind her, where Will is just in the shot behind her, until a bus arrives, covering Will, Mike, and 11.
Call it a coincidence?
I don't know
about you guys, but I don't believe in coincidences.
Remember, this whole promo is teasing stuff from Netflix in 2026 with the theme of tarot, hidden messages, symbolization. Of course, this year there's going to be another Enola Holmes, who she plays. That's obvious, she's not 11 here. But that's the point of this promo. Hidden messages, symbols. The card was number 11. The biggest thing this promo brought is that it's being marketed with the words, "This year you will be deceived and you will like it." The thing is, a lot of people that were discussing and have been investigating Conformity Gate didn't think it would be on the 7th anyway. Some people said March 22nd, the day of the Hawkins massacre and Will's birthday. Well, they had that funny situation of them making it Will's birthday on the date of the camera but didn't mention it in the show. But people could be misinterpreting it as a day. This year something is happening that won't happen again. What if 7 isn't about a day in the year? It's about a month. The 7th month is July, the 10-year anniversary of Stranger Things. On January 12th, as we said, they're releasing a making of documentary for season 5, and in the trailer that just came out you can see on the whiteboard behind them what happens in the finale, and you can see demo attacks and Will confronts Mind Flayer, which is stuff we didn't see at all. We didn't see a single demo in The Abyss, and the Duffers also had a really weird response to why Will wasn't being affected by the damage being put onto the Mind Flayer, and they just said, well, he was, but you didn't see it. Okay, so why was that not thought of? Why was that not filmed? Why was it deleted? And if it wasn't deleted, where did they put it? And remember, this stuff on the whiteboard wasn't stuff about the season 5 as a whole. This was just for episode 8. Stuff has been taken out either because they didn't want to do it anymore or to use in the episode. If you search for fake ending on Netflix, Stranger Things comes up. The same goes for season 5 episode 9 and Conformity Gate. Next, Clean Slate Kate on TikTok showed that episodes 5 to 8 are not registered the way they legally have to be to become official episodes. Because until registered, they're just called long-form video content made from licensed material and promotional edits. Also, when people bought the tickets to watch the finale at the theatre, they would get the theatre vouchers, not actual tickets, almost as if they didn't want you to pay for a fake finale, like a legal loophole. And episodes 5 to 8 not being registered actually scarily fits where people think Vecna got Mike. People think this moment where Mike sensed Vecna is where the Conformity Gate started, where Mike actually was knocked unconscious. This was episode 4, so if episode 5 to 8 haven't been legally registered, could it be because from the end of episode 4 when this happened, it hasn't been the real episodes? Also notice how through the Demogorgon's vision in that scene, Mike's eyes are weirdly blacked out, and he's the only one that has that happen to him. In D&D, certain spells cause blindness, and when they were playing D&D at the end, remember what Mike did to them?
Let's have a piercing.
After sending Will to Vallaki, a town that is under the control of Strahd, who is a vampire, a town where everyone just conforms and pretends to be happy. In episode 1, Mike is clearly shown to be the only one drinking coffee, and again in the next episode, this could show sleep deprivation. Him and Nancy are at the hospital for their parents, and after he picks the coffee up and walks by, he's taken back by a book called A Wrinkle in Time, a book about an evil force called It that controls a dark planet, which explores themes of love and conformity. After seeing this, Mike completely zones out. Nancy asks what's wrong, and he says he's thinking about what Lucas said.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't believe in coincidences.
Telling the
I
people
don't believe
watching
in
that stuff that's
coincidences,
found like this
bitch.
isn't coincidences. Stuff has been put there on purpose. The Demogorgon didn't kill Mike's mum or dad when it took Holly. Vecna had it so that they were left there. He was leaving Mike traumatized and going through mental distress, as his other victims have been. This soldier urinates on the wall. It makes sense because the Upside Down is cold, that would have been warm. But people think because it evaporated instantly, it was to remind you that there is no water in the Upside Down, and so this, in the finale, isn't real. Mike really hurt his arm here, but his pain is later non-existent. Just like when Max had the ability to walk, only when she was in a trance. On the season 5 poster, the Mind Flayer is connecting Mike and Henry. Now, Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street inspired Vecna. The movie that came out in 1989 was called The Dream Child. There were 6 of those movies, the last being called Freddy's Dead. But then they made a 7th film called Wes Craven's New Nightmare, where it's set in the real world, but Freddy Krueger, the fictional villain, enters the real world to murder the people who escaped him in the films. Wes Craven says that because the movie movie's finished, he has been let out when Max and Holly find Mike's basement door. In her memory, her and her friend are watching Nightmare on Elm Street, but maybe it's unrelated. Fine. Apart from the actor for Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund, played Henry's dad, and the image they show next to the die that says 7 really looks like the poster for that movie. The way it's being marketed, is it possible that the 9th episode is the documentary, and in it, questions like this can be answered and more stuff is announced? In season 2, we see Max playing a game called Dig Dog, a game where you dig tunnels. Then episode 5 was even called Dig Dog, where the tunnels under Hawkins are revealed, as it was referencing the tunnels being dug under Hawkins to begin with, which was later revealed to be Will. And now in season 5, we see Derek playing a game called Ghosts and Goblins, and when you complete this game and beat the final boss, you're told it was an illusion and must replay the entire game twice to get the true happy ending. The second run involves facing harder versions of the bosses and then the actual final boss to see the real conclusion. What I think is really interesting is Jimmy Fallon hasn't mentioned any of this in interviews.
And the big theory is, and plug your ears if you don't want to hear this, but the big question is, at the end, is 11 still alive?
I've never seen such a massive viral theory before. Normally he would ask about it, but he hasn't even nearly. It almost feels like he's being a bit sheepish about it.
I was going to ask you, because all the rumors and going up to the finale, there's all sorts of things in the internet. They said, forget Steve.
None of the other actors have responded to it other than being flippant. I don't know. Apart from Brett Gelman, who plays Murray, posting coffee to his TikTok story. In Eddie's D&D campaign, everyone thought Vecna was dead, but Eddie says Vecna lives. He also says he lost his arm and his left eye. In the finale, Vecna lost his left arm, and his head was positioned on his left, hiding his left eye. When Jonathan is taking a picture, the sheet behind him falls, so he goes to put it back up when Hopper jokes about The Godfather. It had a different original ending to the one that was shown in the cinema. In Will's coming out scene, when reminiscing about childhood, he says, getting milkshake at Melville's. But they didn't do milkshakes when he said that, it's a convenience store. But they did do them in the play, when Henry was younger. It's not his memory. He said he loved getting lost in the woods with the boys. I bet he does, but he was the only one that got lost, and it was traumatizing. That isn't a pleasant thing for Will to bring up when reminiscing about childhood, but Henry would. When Mike walks out the basement door, and the show ends, Hero starts playing, just like it did when Will's body was found in season 1, and we thought it was the end, but it was a trick. It also played at the end of season 3, when everyone thought Hopper died, and 11 is reading his letter. Both of these times, we thought it was the end, but it was a trick. The Duffer said the finale was printed on red paper, as it can't be photocopied, but in the table read, and everywhere else we've seen it apart from a few photos, it was on white paper. There's also the Truman Show similarities, a movie where a man finds out his whole life is a show, in the way it ends with walking upstairs and out of a door for the next stage of life, and then Will wearing the same pattern as Truman's love interest right before. This shot with Will mirroring this shot in Truman, and the Time magazine cover looking like the Truman Show ending, which I don't know if I would solidly include, because how much the photographers know about the writing, I'm not sure. By that I mean I don't think they would know much. And the exit signs in most of the scenes where Mike is saying what the kids will go on to do, which I'm also not sure about because it's an exit sign, it's in most public rooms. But the other stuff is validated by the Truman Show being on the Stranger Things 4 inspo board, so it's not random, it was in the mind of the writer. characters and could have correlated at some point in some way. No one's digital watch in the final 2 episodes displays time, and before, when we've seen through someone filming with a camera, we see the time and the date. In the finale, we don't. In season 4, everyone hated and was disgusted by the Hellfire Club, and still blaming Eddie for the killings. At the start of the season, that's still happening, yet everyone here cheers for it. Everyone loves Dustin and celebrates their club now. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is referenced at the end. That movie was said to be the last Indiana Jones movie ever made, and the ending to all of it at the time, but of course, it wasn't. 2 more have come out since then. Robin says they're all different, and this Hawkins is different to the one she remembers. Shows 713 on TikTok translated the tapes behind Robin in Morse code, and it says, "You did not stop me." After Volume 1 released, the actor for Lucas said his finale was different to everybody else's.
My finale was different, so I don't know.
You got a different finale?
After Volume 1 released, the actor for Lucas said his finale was different to everybody else's.
My finale was different, so I don't know.
You got a different finale? Episode 9? Lucas is episode 9?
Yeah.
After 11 goes, it cuts to black and we hear a heartbeat. And then what mimics a clock. But of course it's revealed to be a man hitting bricks into place, hinting that it's a world built in Vecna's reality. When Holly was exploring her memories, she noticed the colour of the circle on the roundabout was a different colour, which is how she knew it was an error in the memory. So the show did teach that little things like that being wrong does matter. And later we will see the dial of the power for the radio tower again, but this time it's red. When we last saw it in episode 1, it was grey. TV editors are coming out and saying stuff like this is extremely unlikely to be an accident because every prop is brought on purposely. Everything is thought about. So also the door in Mike's basement being flipped, when they likely worked hard to make it resemble that scene as much as they could, is quite a big deal. People found a mistake where Holly was wearing Under Armour, which wasn't founded until 1996. They edited it out though, so you can't see that anymore. So why would they not change this? Something in the end, the kids all became the worst versions of themselves. The concept of Nancy and Mike looking just like their parents is because this is the worst outcome, and that's the easiest way for Vecna to recreate them in a false future. They both turned into their parents, the thing they were most afraid of becoming. Max said she doesn't want to be like her brother Billy.
I do not want to be like him, ever.
But in the last scene, she was.
You know what happens when you disobey me. I break things.
A waste of time!
And I thought that was a really forced part of that scene to begin with, so that would make it make sense if they were just trying to make her like Billy. Something it alludes to Will smoking, which he didn't like that his mum did. Dustin is flirting with a girl who wouldn't talk to him years ago. Robin calls Vicky overbearing. Steve is a baseball coach now when his sport in his school was basketball. People have also mentioned how the Wheelers have hair like Henry did now, apart from Holly, in Indiana.
And another thing that I think is strange is not only is Steve a baseball coach, which is fucking just like, why? Because he played basketball. That was his sport in high school that he played. Also, why are the colors blue? Because he's teaching the school. And also, why does he have a C on his hat instead of an H for Hawkins? Right? Like, everything at the end just, like, feels so out of fucking place. I thought it was strange when I was watching it. Truly, I did. And now, like, seeing it like this in a video like this, it just, like, fucking mind-blowing.
And in the 80s, at graduation, they would wear black, but they've got orange robes on here, which would be fine. But Nancy mentioned them being green robes in her book. They're all wearing orange like prisoners do, like they're not free. And their hands are all placed like Henry used to do. And how Billy did when he was being influenced by the Mind Flayer. Everyone in Will's coming out scene also did that, apart from Mike. There's also people looking at the camera, which is genuinely really chilling. Who else did we see looking at the audience? Only Henry, when he was in the kids' dreams. People have said there's people looking at the camera behind Hopper and Joyce, but I don't believe that one. They're looking over at them because he's engaging. And this doesn't feel like an accident in a big Hollywood show. It's like certain stuff has been done to make the fans feel creeped out, to tell them it's not right. I mean, how do 3 of them do it? And they keep it in. People have said there's also a person with the same type of glasses as Henry behind each main character. The ring that Hopper had is the same one that Nancy and Jonathan left in the Upside Down. At the graduation, Mike pauses and stares at the speakers, which was confirmed by Matt Duffer to be Mike realising that there was the kryptonite where Elle was, so she couldn't have possibly made it all the way to the gate. And it also sounds like footsteps. Like what caught Mike's attention was the sound of the Mind Flayer's big footsteps. As he heard it walking, he was distracted from this reality. There's people saying Mike's style at the end mirrors Henry, which is a whole rabbit hole with how Mike has represented him before. Derek awkwardly waved at Mike like Holly waved at Henry when she knew him as Mr. Whatsit. And remember, Henry threatened Derek, saying he had to help him, he'd have to fall in line and do what he says or he'd take out his family. What if, similar to what we saw with Will, he's still in contact with him, and even though that form was killed, him and the Mind Flayer are still in some way connected with these kids. We didn't see the Mind Flayer smoke leave his mouth, and to be fair, we didn't have to, obviously. We can assume it happened a few seconds before the camera goes on him, but combined with the other stuff is interesting. In Hopper's cabin there's a What's It box, and there's a What's It box in the basement at the end, very clearly placed so you can see it. And what do you do in these games? You solve puzzles, cleverly disguised as words, phrases or sayings. And of course at the end, Max and everyone comment on how this ending, Comfort and Happiness, is boring and simple, with plot holes in it. The actor for Mike, Finn Wolfhard, posted this on his story of his books in a different order to what happened in the scene. In this picture he took, you can spell out X Eli. Some even saying that if Elle's book was there, it would say alive. In season 2, the X was the place where the Mind Flayer was, and we know that that place is the Abyss, Dimension X. In the end credits, in the drawing of Max running away from Vecna, it says JK95, which people think could mean Just Kidding Season 5 Episode 9. The Thessal Hydra, the 3-headed dragon, was teased to be the final monster. We didn't get exactly that, but the Thessal Hydra can regenerate its heads. Vecna got his head taken off. And the False Hydra in D&D is a monster known to mix up memories and make you forget things with its mind song, fooling you into thinking it's the actual Hydra. And look at what we see in the finale, that really looks like the False Hydra. At the place, they get to Henry through a theatre curtain, like it was all for show. They're being led there by the False Hydra. Talking of D&D, the Elder Brains is a monster that is the final cycle of the Mind Flayer that can give those under sleep a full sense of reality. There's a little Shop of Horrors poster behind Mike in Will's room, a movie that famously has 2 endings. The happy ending where the good characters win, but also the original darker ending where they are eaten and the plants take over the world. People mentioned the Thing poster too, which is about an alien pretending to be humans. The whole movie is about paranoia and figuring out what's real. Now posters and books appearing in this show does foreshadow stuff and does mean something. Before Holly was taken, she had a poster of An American Tale, which is a story about a mouse being separated from his family, leading him on an adventure to find them amidst harsh realities. He navigates the city and meets allies like a cat called Tiger, and learns about perseverance and hope, eventually helping to save the mice from a villainous cat. It's the 80s, they could have had these kids with the posters of anything, Star Wars posters, E.T. And of course, after the main credits, we see the player's manual with a number 4 hidden behind the cover, but also one next to Mike. After each episode released, the social medias would post the title card, and after chapter 8 they posted a black screen as if to show the unannounced next chapter. But what do you think? Do you think there's any truth to any of this? Could it mean another episode? Or maybe there is a darker meaning behind the finale, but no new episode? Could something be announced in or after the documentary? Let me know what you think down below. Make sure you go and watch this video that pops up at the top right, where I review episode 8, and talk about what could happen in other shows with other characters. And watch this one to see my new and updated The Walking Dead iceberg. It's the longest video on the channel and it gets really dark. Press the like button on the video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell.
You guys should definitely check this guy out. His name's George Drake. He's fucking amazing. I found him because I used to watch a lot of Walking Dead. I've been watching, yeah, we've been watching him for years. I found him because of Walking Dead stuff. So I thought it was really cool. He did a Stranger Things episode. Because unfortunately Walking Dead's kind of dead. especially right now. There's nothing right now. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you check him out. He's fucking awesome. Anyways.